Am I the asshole? I had my mother-in-law trespassed after she entered my home and fired my babysitter. I lost my wife, Anne, 34, just minutes after she gave birth to our first baby, Sammy. She had a difficult pregnancy, so I took an indefinite leave 3 months before she was due. Sammy's 4 months old now, and before I went back to work, I told my mother-in-law, Sandra, 56, about my plans and if she can recommend a nanny to take care of my daughter when I work. She offered to do it, nanny, that is, for free. I told her she's free to come by anytime during the day if she feels uncomfortable with a nanny looking after Sammy, but she insisted on doing it herself. So I said yes and gave her a copy of the house keys. Everything was fine for the first couple of weeks until I noticed that Sammy's not feeding as much. I asked Sandra about it and why Sammy's not feeding well. She said she's trying to breastfeed my daughter.
Wait, what? Mother-in-law?
Yeah. At first, I thought she was joking. Then I realized she wasn't. She said Sammy needs to latch for a few minutes every day to activate her milk production. I almost lost it. I told her she cannot do that and she needs to stop. She said she will, but I caught her again when I walked in my daughter's room and she was forcing Sammy to latch. I confronted her and told her she's no longer my baby's nanny. I didn't ask for the key back as she's still welcome to come visit anytime. I asked for a 1-week leave from work to care for my daughter and find a nanny. I found one, but 2 days after, she never returned. I called her and she said my mother fired her the day before. I asked her to describe the woman and I was livid when I realized it was Sandra. She came into my house using her key and fired my nanny. I was about to call her when she showed up and said a convoluted story like how I hired an incompetent nanny, etc., etc. I told her to leave, but she refused and told me she's calling CPS because I'm endangering my child. We argued back and forth before I called the police and she was charged with trespassing. I know my mother-in-law is grieving the loss of her daughter. I am too. But she crossed the line when she disregarded my wishes. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law are calling me ruthless, and I am now second-guessing myself. Am I the asshole?
Wow.
Nah. No. Poor grandma trying to do the right thing maybe, but you have to recognize when you're out of line. And I would flip shit if I found out my mother-in-law was trying to breastfeed my kid. There's just a line, and that's a line I can't get behind.
That's a line.
I literally just Googled it as we were kind of talking here, and I was like, can a 56-year-old woman even produce breast milk?
That's also my question. I know nothing about this. So
according to Women's Health Today, a woman who is postmenopausal can still produce milk as long as you have a functioning pituitary gland.
It's all about the prolactin. And so if you stimulate the nipples enough, it'll get the prolactin going. Yeah. And yeah.